أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. أما بعد. My dear respected brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. The theme of today's sermon is Tawbiyatul Awlad, that is, bringing up children or raising children in Islam. After the preamble of the Khutba is written by the Imam that respected brothers and sisters in Islam should be conscious of Allah with sincere consciousness. For this consciousness of Allah, it is a wasiyah, a commandment given to the people of the scripture before us and also to the present nation, that is the nation of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allah mentioned in the Quran in Surah An-Nisa where He's saying that وَلَقَدْ وَصَّيْنَا الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْكِتَابَ مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ وَإِيَّاكُمْ أَنِ اتَّقُوا اللَّهَ. That indeed this wasiyah, that is this commandment or this advice, was given to the people of the scripture before you, that is before the nation of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and also you in particular. And the commandment is an ittaqullah, for you to be conscious of Allah. Respected brothers and sisters in Islam, based on the topic, we should be informed that children that Almighty Allah placed under your responsibility, these children are amana, and Allah is going to ask you regarding to how you bring them up, to how you raise them. That is why in the Quran, for you to know that these children are just like a form of grants or gifts that Allah placed under your responsibility. Allah mentioned in the Quran that lillahi mulku samawati wal ard. To Allah belongs the dominion of the heavens and the earth. Yakhluqu ma yasha. He created whatever He wants. Allah creates whatever He wants. Yakhluqu ma yasha yahabu liman yasha'u inathan. He grants female children to those He wants. To people He wants. He grants female children to some people. وَيَهَبُ لِمَنْ يَشَاءُ الذُّكُورَ. And He grants male children to some people. أَوْ يُزَوِّجُهُمْ ذُكْرَانًا وَإِنَاثًا. There are those whom Almighty Allah mixed these children for them. You see them, you have female children, also have male children. All these things are grants from Allah. وَيَجْعَلُ مَنْ يَشَاءُ عَقِيمًا. And those whom Allah wants, you will make them barren, infertile. They produce nothing. Not that they did not follow the right channel. They follow the right channel, but Allah deprived them from that also to serve as a test. For that, as for you, whom Allah placed the children under your responsibility, under your custody, all these things are also tests that Allah placed under you. For that, my dear respected brothers and sisters in Islam, it is legislated upon you to raise, to give these children good upbringing, to raise them in accordance to what the outstanding religion teaches you, which is Islam. As for whoever fulfill this amana, this trust that Allah entrusted him then indeed that person is among the successful one and is among those who will earn the happiness of this world and the happiness of the hereafter. Because the scholars mentioned that mother in fi dunya la jannah, that indeed you see this dunya there is jannah, and this is by the text of the Quran. Allah mentioned in the Quran that mother وَلِمَنْ خَافَ مَقَامَ رَبِّهِ جَنَّتَانِ. As for those who are afraid, they are standing before Allah, they have two Jannah. Then the scholars explain these two Jannah as mother, Jannatul Dunya wa Jannatul Akhirah. The paradise of the world and also the Jannah of the Akhirah. What is the Jannah of this dunya? That is peace of mind, rest of mind. If you want to have rest of mind, you give them good upbringing. Raise them in accordance to the rules of the Quran and in accordance to the teachings of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Then as for those who are heedless, who relax, careless regarding this upbringing, the upbringing of the children, in accordance to the Quran, in accordance to the Hadith, there will be among those who will regret this particular world, will also regret on the day of resurrection. Because some people, because of the love they have for their children, they can't nurture their children to base or in accordance to the commandment of Allah. This is how they love the children. This is how they show the love. For the children to misbehave, provided he's happy, is fine. Even if he's doing his things contrary to the commandment of Allah and His Prophet, they are fine, provided the child is happy, even if it's at the expense of obedience of Allah. They don't mind. That is why Allah commanded us to protect ourselves, to protect our families from hellfire. In His statement in Surah Al-Mada, in Surah Al-Tahrim, where He mentioned that Ya ayyuhal ladina amanu, O ye who believe, Mada hu anfusakum wa ahlikum nara. You should protect yourself. Protect yourselves. Safeguard yourself. Safeguard yourselves and your family or families from hellfire. Because وَقُودُهَا النَّاسُ وَالْحِجَارَةُ, the fuel of this hellfire is mankind and stones. This is what they will use to initiate the hellfire on the day of resurrection. وَقُودُهَا النَّاسُ وَالْحِجَارَةُ. And on this hellfire, عَلَيْهَا مَلَائِكَةٌ غِلَاظٌ. On this hellfire there are angels that Allah placed, them being responsible of of raising or making the fire to burn well, making the fire to a kind of raising the fire. عَلَيْهَا مَلَائِكَةٌ. There are angels on the hellfire. غِلَاظٌ. Those angels, they are harsh. Shidad. They are very strong and severe. لَا يَعْصُونَ اللَّهَ مَا أَمَرَهُمْ. They never disobey the commandment of Allah. وَيَفْعَلُونَ مَا يُؤْمَرُونَ. And whatever they are commanded to do, that is what they do. They don't go contrary to the commandment of Allah. And regarding to this particular ayah, the ayah which I just quoted now, Sayyidina Ali ibn Abi Talib, he said, Mother, عَلِّمُوهُمُ الدِّينَ. That what the ayah is actually meant is, عَلِّمُوهُمُ الدِّينَ. Teach the children, Mother, Islam. Let them know the importance of what Allah bestows upon them, because it is a ni'mah, it is a bounty of Allah to choose you among those whom are guided to the right path. That is the path of Islam. Because كُلُّ مَوْلُودٍ يُولَدُ عَلَى الْفِطْرَةِ. Every newborn is born on fitrah, which is Islam. Is the father, mother, that is what the Prophet mother, فَأَبَوَاهُ يُهَوِّدَانِهِ أَوْ يُنَصِّرَانِهِ. Is the parent that nurture them on the wrong way, that is being among the Jewish people, or being among the Nasara, that is the path of the mother, Christianity. That is just the translation of the hadith. Mother Qatada ibn Da'ama mentioned in his tafsir, he elaborated, he explained more regarding to this particular ayah, that mother ta'muruhum bi ta'atillah, that should command them to obey Allah and forbid them from disobedience of Allah. When you see them disobeying Allah, be harsh to them. When a child misbehaves, you might be kind, you might be soft to that child. When it comes to violating the law of Allah, though there is no joking, there is no compromise. You address the child, let them know the importance of the ni'mah, the bounty that Allah bestows upon them. Stand firm on them in the commandment of Allah. Command them and also help them in their shortcomings when it comes to servitude of Allah. The Prophet ﷺ mentioned in another hadith narrated by Abdullah ibn Umar. May Allah be pleased with him. The hadith was reported by both Bukhari and Muslim in their authentic book. The Prophet ﷺ said, "Mada kullukum ra'." All of you, every one of you is a shepherd. All of you are shepherd. All of you are custodian. You are responsible for something. وَكُلُّكُمْ مَسْئُولٌ عَنْ رَعِيَّتِهِ. And you will be asked for your what? You will be asked for your custody. In that hadith, the Prophet ﷺ now said, "Mada وَالرَّجُلُ رَاعٍ وَالرَّجُلُ رَاعٍ عَنْ عَفْوًا وَالرَّجُلُ رَاعٍ عَلَى أَهْلِ بَيْتِهِ." That a man is responsible for his family in his home. وَمَسْئُولٌ عَنْ رَعِيَّتِهِ. And he shall be responsible for his custody. A man is a custodian in his home regarding to his family, and you shall be asked regarding for what Allah placed on their responsibility. Then he also mentioned, وَالْمَرْأَةُ رَاعِيَةٌ عَلَى بَيْتِ زَوْجِهَا وَوَلَدِهَا. And also a woman, the wife who is placed in the home, also has her own responsibility. She's also a shepherd, and she will be asked regarding to her what? She's also a shepherd in the home of her husband, in the house of her husband, and also shepherd on her children. وَمَسْئُولَةٌ عَنْ رَعِيَّتِهَا. And she shall be responsible for what is placed under her responsibility. That is by bringing up the children. This is an hadith reported by both Bukhari and Muslim. For that, my dear respected brothers and sisters in Islam, there are ways that children can be raised, can be nurtured. Because this upbringing of children is not limited to giving them food, to feeding them, clothing them, or giving them shelter. But rather, there are things that we need to put into consideration regarding to giving them good upbringing. One of those things, in fact, there are many, but only few of them are mentioned. And one of the things that we need to raise our children on is one, al-aqidah, when it comes to belief, tawheed, oneness of Allah. We must implant the tawheed, the aqidah. We must allow aqidah to penetrate into the heart of our children by knowing the kalima la ilaha illallah, negating anything and affirming that only Allah deserves to be worshipped. No one deserves to be worshipped except He, Allah. Letting them know the requirements of the la ilaha illallah, let them know the understanding of the la ilaha illallah, endearing, that is making them knowing, memorizing and knowing the meaning of the names and attributes of Allah, and also letting them to be aware of the bounty that Allah bestows upon every human being. Accustoming them or let them get used to the observance of Allah. That is muraqabatullahi fi sirri wal ilan. Observance of Allah in hidden and also in apparent. Let them know that whatever action they are about to do, Allah is watching them. Let them know that. Let them also understand that anything they utter from their mouth is documented by angels, by some creation that Allah appointed to them. Let them know that. And also let them understand that even if they didn't do any action or they didn't utter anything, and they are silent about anything, let them know that Allah knows what is running in their mind before any action or utterance. Let them also understand regarding to that. Also, from what we can raise our children on is servitude to Allah. That is action, ibadah, deeds. A person, a Muslim mother, both parents and also the society, teachers and others. We must let the children get used to worshiping Allah from their young age. And this raising of children, bringing up of children from the worship aspect, a mother raising the children from the worshiping of Allah or from the aspect of servitude to Allah in mother, the 5 pillars of Islam. Let them know, let them understand the 5, both the theory and the practical aspect of the 5 pillars of Islam, from the Shahada down to mother visiting the house of Allah. Let them also understand that, teach them how to observe prayer, teach them how to perform ablution, urging them to do that. Mother, the five obligatory prayers, doing ablution before going to join congregation. Let them understand that without ablution there is no prayer. But let them understand the importance of the prayer first. When they know the importance of the prayer, they won't joke with ablution. And also encourage them to love those things without you forcing them. And accompany them to the masajid. When they are going to the masjid, accompany them, especially at some particular age, especially when they are at the age of 7 years. When they are going to the masjid, they should always see you, our mother, they should always see you holding their hand going to the house of Allah, which is the masjid. And this is in accordance to the commandment of the Prophet ﷺ in an hadith that the Prophet ﷺ mentioned that muru awladakum bis-salah wa hum abna'u 7 sinin. That should command your children to pray while they are at the age of 7 years. وَاضْرِبُوهُمْ عَلَيْهَا وَهُمْ أَبْنَاءُ عَشْرِ. And punish them when they are relaxing from the prayer at the age of 10 years. At the age of 7 years, in fact, before the age of 7 years, let the children see you doing righteous action, seeing you as a parent observing the prayer, doing righteous action. When at the age of 7 years, you don't even need to force them to go and do that. You command them and they will obey your commandments. At the age of 10 years, at the age of that 7 years first, at the age of 7 years, command a child to go and pray. If he refuses, don't beat him. Because this is contrary to the rulings of Islam. At the age of 8 years, don't beat a child for refusing to go and pray. At the age of 9 years also, it's not imbibed on you to flog or to punish a child. At the age of 9 and some months, don't punish a child for not praying. Give them the commandment. Let them get addicted to the prayer. Then, when they are now at the age of 10 years, you command them to go and pray, they now refuse. Islam gives you a chance to punish them. You punish them, you are punishing them for them disobeying the commandment of Allah. Not because they are disobeying you, but because this is a matter, any statement made by the Prophet ﷺ is a revelation. And we must believe in that. For that, at the age of 10 years and above, you start punishing a child if he refuses obeying the commandment of Mother of Allah. Then the Prophet ﷺ now mentioned also that you should separate them in their beds at the age of that 10 years. The age of 10 years, don't allow them to sleep on the same bed again, both male and female. Separate their sleeping. Visit, and this is the hadith narrated or reported by Ahmad, hadith narrated by Abdullah ibn Amr ibn al-As. Also, from the ways we can nourish or give our children good upbringing, morals, characters, implant, allow good morals to penetrate into the heart of the children. Encourage them, let them see, mother, good character and conduct. In fact, you should be the role model to them, so that they know or they imitate some good characters from you as a parent. The parents should also encourage them to extend taslim to people. Encourage them by, even if you see your child not extending taslim to you, when you see him, Assalamu alaikum. The Prophet ﷺ used to do that. When he passed by children, he used to extend taslim to them, Assalamu alaikum, and they will respond to his taslim. Tomorrow they will want to do it because they've seen the leader doing it. But when the leader is corrupt, the children, if care is not taken, they will be more corrupt than the leader. Also, encourage them to be kind to the neighbors. They should also see the kindness or respecting the neighbors from you. Encourage them on being dutiful to the parents. And other things from good behaviors. Also, pay attention to the children's health. Don't allow them to consume something that will damage their health. Let them get used. Before then, don't allow them to consume haram. Don't allow your source of income to be a haram or illegal source of income. Don't nourish them. Don't give them good upbringing. Don't give them, let me not mention good. Don't give them upbringing. Even if you are educating a child, your mother, you are advocating the memorization of Quran in a child. Don't allow yourself sponsoring that child from illegal income, because Allah will eliminate the barakah, that is the blessing in it. You observe that the child will not be disciplined. Even if he has that, Allah will remove the barakah in it. Let them get used to early sleeping and early waking up. Let them get used to that, because this has to do with mother health issue. Then also pay attention to the social gathering of your child or your children. Know people who are his mother, his company, his friends who are around him. Pay attention to the friends, because children or friends, they also have impacts in the life of our children. Enroll your child in a Quranic cycle where people are studying the Quran. Enroll your child in it. Then also, a child can be occupied with some certain responsibility, such as honoring the visitors. Encourage them in honoring visitors, and also something that has to do with hospitality. When it comes to giving hospitality to the visitors, encourage your child to do that. Let him see the hasanat in you. Also, environment also has impact on our children. Make sure you choose the best community, the best environment for them. And the best place, it is best to place children in an environment that honor Islam, that know the value of Islam. Environments that know the value of Islam and also know the importance of some of the symbols of Islam, the signs of Islam. That is Sha'air Islam. Let them also know that, understand that. Encourage them, choose the best environment for them. Because any environment that is corrupt, if you stay in a corrupt environment, it will affect them. But an environment that people are competing about Islam, about their religion, about Quran, this one is an half, this one they are hufal, this and that. Your child will also compete with them. You will be encouraged, and your child will also be encouraged because you have people to cite as an example for him. But a corrupt environment, you have no one to cite to use as an example. And if care is not taken, your child will now deviate. You are trying to nurture him to give him good upbringing, he's deviating because of the corrupt environment that he's living. And also, lastly, Imam brought it that matter, there are also indirect upbringing. What are those indirect upbringing? This involves a dua ulahum. That is, has to do with supplication for them. You make a supplication for their well-being, supplication for guidance before and after giving birth to them. Always make supplication before birth, before giving birth. Always make supplication. رَبَّنَا هَبْ لَنَا مِنْ أَزْوَاجِنَا وَذُرِّيَّاتِنَا قُرَّةَ أَعْيُنٍ وَجَعَلْنَا لِلْمُتَّقِينَ إِمَامًا. After the birth, اللهم اجعلني مقيم الصلاة ومن ذريتي ربنا وتقبل دعاء. These are supplications you should be making for your children. Then choose the best name for them. Choose the best names or best name for your child. And also let him know the meaning of his name so that he won't slack when it comes to practicing the Islam. Then, fair treatments, that is, be just among your children, because Prophet has mentioned that you should be conscious of Allah. اتقوا الله وَاعْدِلُوا فِي أَوْلَادِكُمْ. Should be conscious of Allah and justify among your children. Don't give a kind of superior treatment to one and leave the others, because it creates enmity and it also creates mother envy among the children. Then treat them with every act of kindness. Treat them with every act of softness and be merciful to them. But that does not stop you from being harsh to them once in a while, especially when they are disobeying Allah. Let them see the sign that you don't like it. Then always follow the methodology of rewarding, especially a child that you see that is very productive when it comes to the deen. Encourage him, reward them. Encourage them, always following the methodology of rewarding them. That is what is called reinforcement. Reinforce them. And when it comes to punishing them, when they deserve that punishment, you punish them, but not in a way that it will harm them. And also diversifying mother fi uslub al-iqab. That is the method of punishment which does not need beating. There are ways you can punish a child without you using cane on that particular child. You can deprive him or her from some things which you know that he loves it the most, so that You encourage him or her to be dedicated to his deen, to his or her deen. And this can involve mother reprimanding or rebuking the child when he misbehaves, and also giving him or her an angry look. There are some times that when you change your mood and your child look at you, you know that something is wrong. He will just sit up. He or she will sit up. For that, it's not every time you punish a child. Punishment has limits. There are some times to encourage him, show him love. Sometimes reprimand that child, rebuke him. Sometimes give him an angry look. And again, sometimes also there are some, if the child crosses limits, there's some it can which can lead to retaliation. You do it. A child who intentionally oppressing his or her brothers because of him being a senior in the home, damage mother causing damage in the home, you can allow retribution. فإن عاقبتم فعاقبوا بمثل ما عوقبتم به. When you hold this one, you oppress him. Get this one, you slap him because it's powerful. Yes, there can be a retribution, a retaliation. That one is also allowed in Islam, so that the child will also learn that what he's doing is oppression and is not good, because Allah have prohibited oppression against himself, and he now made it prohibition among the mankind. We ask Allah to accept it from us. I can observe that the Imam is around, inshallah. I think we elaborate the khutbah more, inshallah. If there are things that I have not mentioned, I ask Allah to grant him the opportunity of mentioning them, and I ask Allah to grant us understanding. Assalamu alaikum.